Have you ever heard sticks breaking or a howl in the woods that you thought was directed at you? Well, I have a relationship with these Bigfoots in public where I go down to this canoe trail and I hear them howling and I actually howl back and have a communication with them. And I'm going to show you some things about their magic. They have a stick that's bent around it, and it has two eyes and a trident stick, and you can see its wide body, and it's hidden between the two trees. Sometimes they go between two trees, but maybe they don't swim after all, but they actually have some kind of tube. See that Sasquatch that's going in the reflection of the tree? It's looking back at us. There's a duck and an energy light beam shining in the water. And there's another Sasquatch looking right at me, right below this one. And their magic is unbelievable, and that's why we can't see them. They're right in front of the unseen eye. Look at it. It's right there in the water, in a reflection, like it's pulling apart the water, maybe like through dimensional tubes. They don't swim, maybe. They just pull apart the water and go through tubes. And it's right across from this place in public with the housing industry craze and everything else going on. I just want you to know that you can submit your story to me on your comments. And if you've ever been bashed by a group or anything else, it's okay. So besides, a 5-minute commercial and why don't you join the Sasquatch Highway and all this other stuff, I was talking to you about the relationship that I have with Bigfoot, besides groups and comments out there from the mainstream that a lot of them are faking it, and that this big one is not very far. It's within walking distance behind these businesses. So I was having this relationship, I make some calls, I go down there, and this big one was, you can see in the whiteout, it's huge. I mean, it's a 10-footer walking gigantic Pithecus in Florida in public behind people. They can't see. Now, see the white sticks, they kind of like draw. I can identify them just by sticks that are trees that are like everything's gone. And this is the other one that was right next to it. Like they're almost in the same photograph, and it has a big old fatter face. The other one seems more slender to me, and I caught it. It's the entrance, like they have these sticks lined up around the side of the pond, and I noticed these structures, and you can see in the background here, and that's what I walked into. And it's where you walk into, that's a lot of times it's important. It's where you walk in when you see them. You can see the big face right here, all these dead bushes, and then the big gigantic Pithecus that's right next to it that walks away. It's really slender. It makes me think like they move. But I just want you to know I have Bigfoots in public, like the little people here. You don't have to think about that. This is little people behind a church. This is a Sasquatch behind a park ranger's house. This is one behind a Budweiser plant. Total 8, painted face, and everything else. None of this fake. I don't even know how to fake anything. This is one con telescope video, one of my favorites. And then the one last year in Georgia, the female. Everything looks different, doesn't it? And look at this little guy that's on one of my video shorts. You can see it. I'm going to show you this drive-by scene and what my relationship really is in public. All right, you guys. I'm going to be closing down any structures. Look at that right there. That's a trident Y, but stuck sideways. But it's peculiar. It almost looks like a decoration. Well, you're about to see a whole lot of structures. I have a whole kingdom of them right here. And there's a huge X coming up. So anyways, this is a public place. I'm notorious for catching them in public places. This big old leaner right there. And sorry, there's some people passing me by. Right up here there was an X. I don't know if they still have it. Right on the other side of here, they moved it. Oh my gosh, they moved it. And look, now this log right here, what's that right there? Something's popping up on my camera and I can't see it. Now this log right here, right there's the X. Alright, so Sorry about that. See how the X is? That's a huge blatant X, and it's right in the public eye. That is leaning up on that. It's an X, and see how it's like a whole entrance right there? There's a couple more interesting ones, and I'm gonna get up to the big one. There's a couple right over this bridge. So this old forest preserve is behind the Avenues Mall. I love history, but sometimes they put it into people's faces. Like they'll put it right into your face. You want to talk about sideways Ys sticking out? Sorry I have to do this as a bus route right behind me too. Look at that. See, you have tridents up in Florida. We have side Ys. I call them side Ys. Not tridents, but sidewise. They're tridents, but they're sideways. So I call them sidewise. And they're always sticking out. They tend to hide things a little bit more. In fact, I see a couple things right there behind there you can't really see with your naked eye in Florida. And they also tend to get near people more. But they'll always be, there's a little star origami. There's another one. Look at that. Sidewise. Now that one's sticking up in the air, so it can tell you means something different over here and up here and up down there. So somewhere in there they're protecting it. There's a stump right back there. They're protecting something is what all of that means. I see them all over the place. Now if I go on this bridge here, there's another one down there. You can't see it now, only in the winter time you can see it is what it is. And there's one over here on the other side, and it's like right down there. You can't really see it right now. It's too covered up. And then at the end is a huge structure I'm going to take you guys to. So like what I'm telling you is, you know, we have different formations. There's sideways eyes, Ys, and side eyes. But it's just kind of funny. Like I'm really noticing how they mark the ends and the entrances right around here. And I know I've already seen another group in here. So I'm gonna take you to a special place. It's an industrial park. Well, it's actually offices, but the lot that could be built on in the corner are structures of Bigfoot right here. So like right here we have this building here, there's a building up there, there's a building up there, and where I'm going to is in this lot right here that's empty. I'll take you up there real quick. It's right in here. This is the lot that I'm going to, and right behind in there are massive Bigfoot structures, X's and Y's and leaners all the way up to the roof, 30-40 feet high. And right here where the road ends, there's always a cop that sits there for this business. And over here, and he sits there like they're going to develop it, but they never developed it back into the old prestige woods. And this is an empty lot right here in the corner. So that's the one I'm going into. Look at this, somebody done spun out some donuts on us. That does not make me look good, because I'm gonna park like I'm working at this building, and then I'm just gonna go across the street. I'm not doing anything illegal. I mean, if you're doing something illegal, then you know it's different. But you know, I'm just making a YouTube video, so I'm just gonna park, and if anybody asks me, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm making a YouTube video. I'll be right back.